let's do a few petty cash transactions. Now, petty cash is a specialized type of cash account. You may be familiar with petty cash, you may not, but most businesses keep, if they want to keep petty cash, you don't have to, but they keep petty cash on hand for purchases that are either smaller in value, or they just don't want to write a check for it, or maybe they're more frequent. Maybe they like to just go to the post office and buy stamps with cash, or maybe the office likes to get donuts once a week and they just like to have cash to do that. For whatever reason that you have petty cash, it should still be, again, safeguarded. Everyone should not have access to the petty cash box or wherever the petty cash is located. Okay, you should have one petty cash custodian. They're in charge of it. They're the one who has sole access and rights to the petty cash. Okay. Regardless, though, let's say that you don't have petty cash fund and you say, hey, I think that's something good we want to do for the business. It's useful. Let's establish a petty cash fund. So you go get a check and you write out a check to cash. Okay. Well, on the accounting side of that, we have to make an entry. Well, we know cash is involved. We're going to write out a check to cash. And let's say that we established a fund of, $50. All right. So when we write the check, we credit cash for $50. And we're going to debit petty cash to establish the fund. Petty cash is an asset. It's a type of cash account. So now we've established the fund. We've got a lockbox maybe, and we've got $50 in it. We've got one person that's in charge of it and has the key. Okay, so you come to him and say, I'm going to go to the post office and buy stamps. Can you give me some petty cash? Sure. So let's say maybe you give them a $10 bill, and when they get back, they should bring you two items. Any change that's left over, and also the receipt. And you're going to fill out a petty cash ticket to show how much was given, how much was returned, what it was for, and you're going to attach the receipt to it. Because eventually, you're going to use that cash. That's what it's there for. So let's say it's the end of the month and you go and check the petty cash box and there's only $10 left in there. So you need to replenish the fund. And we will replenish it back to the original amount. So we want to have $50 in there to start the next month. So how much do I need to replenish it for? How much do I need to write another check out to cash for? $40. Okay. So again, I'm doing this out of order a little bit. Now, this entry here, remember, I wrote that a little wrong. Let me rewrite it. This is how this should actually be entered. Petty cash, 50, cash, credited for 50. That's what it should really look like. Okay? So, when we replenish the fund, what we're going to do is, again, write a check out to cash for $40. But when we're replenishing it, we don't change the petty cash fund. Petty cash on my books right now says what? If I opened up a trial balance or the ledger and flipped to the petty cash page, it would say $50. Even if I only have $10 left, like we said. It still says $50. Well, we're going to replenish it back up to that $50. So if I increase that account again, it would look like we had $90. But we don't. We're going to have $50. The only time that you involve petty cash in a journal entry is when you establish the account, like we've done in this entry, when you change the amount to normally be withheld, or when you close the account itself. You will never see petty cash involved with an entry to replenish the funds to the account. Never, never, never. What you're going to do there is actually add up all those receipts and tickets that you have in your petty cash fund or box or whatever to tell me what you spent it on. So let's say that, again, we bought stamps. Okay, so we had, let's call that office expense. And let's say that was for a total of, we spent $20 on office expense, whether that be stamps or miscellaneous office supplies. We added up all the tickets. Or not office supplies, but office expense in general. Okay? And then we had, maybe we bought some donuts, something. We just put that in miscellaneous expense. And maybe we had about $10 worth of that. And then maybe we had some supplies we purchased. Maybe $5. Just had to get a few things. And that's all the tickets we have. Alright? Now, what did we say we needed to credit cash for? We only had $10 left in the box. We've established the petty cash fund at $50. We want to replenish it. So we need $40 back in there. Does my journal entry balance? No. I have receipts for how much money? $35. I'm short $5. And I need a $5 debit to make this balance. That's going to go to an account called Cash, Short, and Over. If it's short, it'll be a debit. If it's over, it'll be a credit. So this could be somebody didn't turn in a receipt, didn't give me the right change, forgot, stole some, don't know. If this continues, though, with great frequency, we're probably going to want to investigate what's going on. This should happen, every now and then, but it shouldn't be prevalent. It shouldn't be large amounts either with petty cash. You've got some serious internal control issues or theft issues. So, but if you do have that discrepancy, then we use that cash short and over. Again, this can be debited or credited. Just depends on whether it's short or over. But that replenishes the fund. Okay? We do that each month. Add up the tickets, total them back. Hopefully they equal the same amount that we need to replenish it by. Alright? Now, if we wanted to change the amount, what if you said $50 is just not enough? We're spending more than that. We spend about, $70 to $80. So we want to increase the account to $80. Then we're going to involve petty cash again, because now we want the fund to be set at $80 instead of $50. So now I need to increase the amount that's withheld in the fund. So now what would happen is, when you write out that check to cash, you're also going to increase petty cash fund. So we would debit petty cash for $30. Now if you were just doing this to increase the fund, it would look like this. If you do it at the same time you're replenishing the fund, then you would have other items, like, let's say you were going to increase it to $80, so the $30 needs to go to petty cash. And let's say that you had some miscellaneous expense for the month of $10, and those are all your receipts, and you were just short that $10 this time. Then your check would be for $40 here. 10 of it's for items you had spent to show your petty cash that you had already spent and to replenish the fund to its original amount. The $30 is going to be to increase that amount to $80 total. Now what if you decide you never spend petty cash, you thought it was a good idea to establish it, but you really don't use it. You don't need to hold it. Okay? Because cash hanging around could be a theft problem, a potential fraud risk. So we want to close that account out and just not have petty cash anymore. Well, let's say it was the original $50 that we had. To do that, you're going to take that petty cash and you're going to put it back in your checking account. You're going to deposit it. So your cash is going to go up. And your petty cash is going to go down. That closes the account. But notice, again, the only time we involve petty cash is when we're changing the amount. Either we're establishing it for the first time, we're changing the amount that's normally withheld, or we're closing the account. But when we're just replenishing the funds in the account, you do not involve an entry to petty cash at all. Okay? So please be aware of that.